Yo, what's good, guys? Today I got a video for y'all. So basically, I know why NBA viewership has been falling apart and why it's been dying for a moment. And it's not really a theory, but it's been a lot of great games going on. Luca still ain't playing defense. Nah, Luca, he's one of those he's one of the greats. Like, I ain't gonna front. Luca is a James Harden, but like he's James Harden that made it further. Like, it's weird. Like, it's weird because he really is a James Harden, but it's like even James Harden wasn't that bad at defense. Like, I think niggas really just be hating on James Harden. I mean, let's be honest. James Harden had some atrocious games throughout his playoff career and nasty. It's been some times where he's played some nasty defense, but then he's had games like OKC, going against OKC in the bubble, getting a clutch block, getting clutch steals, doing shit. But yeah, but that's not the point of the video. But there's been a lot of great basketball games that's been going on. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how the NBA is losing viewership. From time to time, a lot of games are going up, then some games are low, and some people aren't watching. And that's supposed to happen. I mean, I ain't gonna front. Some teams, I don't give a fuck about them playing basketball. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's some teams where it's like, I just don't want to watch you, gang. Like, I'm sorry. Those teams aren't really interesting, but viewership issues wise, the NBA has been complaining about how the viewership has been going up and down, and I know why it's been going up and down. And I think it really is as just simple as it is. TV is dying. Like, cable, NBA League Pass, like, that shit is dying. Niggas watching the game. A lot of people don't even watch basketball games no more. They just watch highlights of basketball games. I know more highlights of basketball games that have more likes and comments. Like, there's basketball games that highlights would have more views than. That's fucking crazy. Like, people rather watch highlights than watch the full game and get a full perspective of things. And it goes back to, like, television dying. And it really started around the pandemic, but it was always happening. But, like, the pandemic, like, sped up the process. Like, TV and cable vision, and it's really just a bigger issue in itself. Like, it's not that these games are bad or Anthony Edwards is shooting too many threes and people don't like it, because y'all just be chatting. Y'all say anything. Like, because I know a lot of older men that watch basketball still, that watch full games. I know a lot of old heads that love the NBA right now, and they're actually really excited about it. I know a lot of old niggas that really like what's going on. So when I hear people talk about the threes, it's like, no, that was never an issue, gang. It really just comes down to viewership in itself. It's just people just sitting down and watching the game. Like, a lot of people don't actually sit down and watch basketball no more. People rather just go and watch highlights, then watch first take, then get a perspective on a game they barely even watch. Then it's like, we're so glued to our phones now. We have, like, the internet's became such a fast food market. So, like, you have apps like TikTok where it's like your attention span is basically cooked. You're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Even I catch myself. That's why I have a timer on my shit so I don't fry my own brain. Even just like simple things like coming to watch the game with the family and everybody just sitting, in their living room and watching TV. Most people don't even use their living room. Most people, living rooms are empty. They rarely watch TV with their family. Like, things that we were doing before the pandemic, like sitting down, watching TV with the guys, watching TV with your friends. Now it's like once in a while, like, niggas might link up once in a while just to watch a game or two, but it's not the same. Like, I think a lot of things like that have affected us while we were watching the game. It's not more of like a basketball issue. It's more of like a people issue. Even though I feel like, we're making strides, we're starting to come back into society. I know, like, the pandemic fucked everything up. Even just things like that, simple things like that. The way how we interact, the way how we watch TV. Like, people don't even sit and watch TV with their family no more. Most people just go to their room, eat their food, stay in their room. Like, everything is mostly divided. So, like, I feel like that's what's been hard. That's what is hurting the viewership. Like, a lot of people rather just, watch clips. Oh, parlay. They watching how much this player got, +2 on this guy. They're not even watching the game. They're just watching, like, how much they scored. They going, oh, he's up right now. They're not even watching the game. They just watching, like, they got the little scrimmage app where you could show who scored who got what bucket. Like, they're not even actually watching the game. A lot of people will be on the road, and instead of actually watching the game, sitting down. These games aren't bad. These games are actually fucking crazy. Like, De'Aaron Fox, I watched that game where he dropped 60. He's on crack. Like, it's been a lot of good games. Like, he's breaking historical records, but then, of course, Wilt Chamberlain. Yo, I'm tired of Wilt Chamberlain. Jesus Christ, that nigga's a myth. Like, I ain't gonna front, like, like, when I think about basketball myth legends, he's, like, number one. Like, there's no nigga that I've ever seen in sports myth history. Like, you know, there's players people will talk about and they're like, nah, this nigga's not real. He's like number one, not real. Like, Jordan is obtainable. Like, old niggas just be I feel like some niggas just be glazing him too much. Like, Jordan is obtainable, but that shit that Wilt was doing, no. that nigga, and I know niggas about to say he was hooping against plumbers and da 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 da, but even still, like, that is still wild for him to do all that he was doing in that era. Like, I'm just saying. But like shit like that, like it's been a lot of great basketball games going on. You know, the whole little back and forth with Clay, that was cool. Of course, Luca lost because Luca Luca can't catch a break. I ain't gonna front. The only time he won is when he was out and they went against OKC, and he didn't win. It was the team and it was Kyrie, but that's for a whole another conversation. I'm gonna make a video about Luca being a liability, but yeah, it's just been a lot of back and forth. I feel like it's a lot of great games. It's been a lot of up and downs. There's a lot of great stories. I just feel like a lot of people are just glued to their phones. A lot of people are just, they don't have the brain or the brain power to just sit down and just watch a game. Like, I've noticed that people get up, scroll on their phone, this, that, and the third. Like, a lot of our brains are fried. Like, like a lot of niggas' brains are fried. Like, I've seen it. Like, I've seen it in real time. Like, I've even caught myself doing it. I know older people that do it. Like, we're so glued to what we see on our phone, the highlights of the game, than actually watching the game, things like that. We go outside, we do this, that, and the third. Like, you will see people go outside with their phones, wherever they're at, with their phones, glued to their phones. Like, so certain things like that, viewership-wise, have died. And then TV is kind of just boring. Like, most people don't give a fuck about TV. Like, I think, like, TV is, like, one of those things where it's, like, it was, like, when it first came out, everybody was like, oh, shit, this is amazing. And now, like, you have all the information and everything you want from all the abundance on one fucking phone, and that shit don't even matter. That shit died. Like tablets, fucking once tablets came out, phones came out, then they had apps like Netflix, Hulu. That shit just died out. That's why you see a lot of NBA teams trying to, you know, have a Hulu Plus deals where you could watch NBA free of access. Not free of access, you gotta pay for that shit. But you understand what I mean? Like, things like that. Like, I think a lot of people just don't sit down and watch basketball games like they used to. Like, people still watch and love basketball, but it's more of a fast food thing. Like, people don't really sit down and really watch the game. Like, I've noticed it. Like, I see people sit down, they on their phone, they scrolling, they here, they there. Like, they on TikTok, now they on Twitter. Like, a lot of our brains are fried. That's really it. That's really why the views be dying sometimes. Like even like certain droughts, like the NBA would have weird droughts, but it would be a great game. Like, oh, we didn't have this big of a viewership, but it's not that the sport itself is just bad. It's just that the viewership, and especially how the way like a lot of things have happened due to self-isolation, which I think is caused more by the pandemic, because it was always going to get to this point. But I think the pandemic definitely sped up the process of people being more isolated, not going out, going to bars, watching games with the friends, like with your friends, going to the bar, watching games, your family coming together, watching games together in the living room, like things like that. It's just simple shit like that. I think the pandemic definitely affected. But that's all I really got to say, though. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next YouTube video. Peace.